Hello everyone, this is Shivam here, and this video picks up from my previous video on the deleterious effects of interacting with self-help content. This video talks about alternatives that you can consider if you want a change from self-help content. In my previous video, I had established how self-help content might not really be useful, and I hope to share some replacements that have helped me in the past. Here's a summary of these points so you know what's coming. First, read books by authors in academia or research. Second, engage with online programs that involve input from you. Third, get a coach, mentor, or a counselor. Now, before we move on, some of the themes covered in this video talk about using methods of self-development and care on oneself. However, it is a completely different matter if you're experiencing any form of mental distress. In such a situation, it is best to consult with a licensed mental health practitioner in accordance with your needs. Moving on, so the first alternative is reading books by expert authors, academicians, or researchers. I enjoy this because most well-published authors are precise in describing their ideas and the scope of their work. In most cases, academics do not overstate their claims because they know that their ideas will be moderated by others in their community. Moreover, we know that their findings have been put through an extensive amount of scrutiny by other experts in their same field. Lastly, if someone is so inclined, they can even find these authors' original works and have a look at the methods that they used to get to their conclusions. Thus, expert authors are usually held accountable if they make outlandish claims, and this often makes for a reading experience that is more grounded in reality. An example of such a book is The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley, where the author walks us through the demographics of the typical millionaire in America. He goes into details such as average age, purchase habits, life histories, and distribution curves that give the reader a realistic idea about who the average millionaire in America is. It essentially states that the average American millionaire is a person who has a high tendency for savings whilst working in progressive and often slowly growing jobs. In contrast, typical self-help books don't often use this level of data-backed insights and often talk in generalities such as most millionaires in America do such and such, without stating how they came to this conclusion. One other example of a great book written by expert authors is A Guide to Rational Living by Albert Ellis and Robert Harper. The authors are both licensed mental health professionals and were at the top of their fields when they wrote it. I like this book because it gives the reader a practical way of working with their own self-limiting beliefs. And at the same time, it's been designed by seasoned professionals who have worked in the mental health space for a long time. When going through such content, the last thing I need is somebody unqualified suggesting what I should do in order to reduce the amount of negative emotions I experience. Our second alternative to traditional self-help content is to engage with online programs that involve input from you. I have found that programs that require input from me help me by making me an active participant in my growth process. A couple of such programs that I have tried are Jordan Peterson's self-authoring program and the Daily Stoic program. In both cases, the programs do come at a cost, but in my opinion, that cost is nominal. The Jordan Peterson self-authoring program was $30 for 2, I believe. However, there are many free writing templates out there if you are averse to paying for some of these programs. Most forms of media and self-improvement require you to be a passive recipient of knowledge, as if knowing something can have transformational power alone. Now, while I do acknowledge the power of some good information, I do also recognize that this information is nothing if it isn't used. Programs that require written input or practice from you are very generative in nature, in that they require effort from the recipient in order to translate into results. For example, reading about reflecting at the end of the day can definitely help establish the importance of reflection and also help you designate an approach to reflecting. But a program that requires you to pen down your thoughts at the end of the day elicits input from you, and this over time can be transformational. And our third alternative to self-help content is getting a coach, mentor, or a counselor. Coaches, counselors, or mentors help in different ways. While I have worked with counselors and mentors before, I have not had a formal coach. In both cases, I was able to get great perspective and feedback. What I think contributed to the success of both these relationships for me was the personalized nature of the feedback and also the wisdom that came from going to professionals. Working with great quality mentors, coaches, and counselors is very different from reading or watching videos about topics. And that is mainly because when you look stuff up in a book, figuring out how to make it apply to your particular context is still up to you. However, if you are working with a professional, they either ask the right questions or provide the right tips when you are looking to solve a problem. For example, once when I went to a psychologist, I was trying to improve the state of my mental health all at once. And I realized this fact only once I spoke with them, and they were immediately able to suggest a more structured and step-by-step approach to feeling better and being more effective. Now, I do agree that going to any professional besides a mentor is going to be an expensive affair. But in my experience, it has often helped me a lot. The tough part is trusting the authenticity of someone's qualifications to help in a professional capacity. Thankfully, standardized certifications for professionals go a long way, and that is something you should definitely verify before signing up. For example, I know professional coaches in organizations are often certified by the International Coaching Federation, which is a multinational executive coaching certification program. Ideally, if a coach has this credential and has experienced working with people in your position and you're willing to pay their fees, I say go for it. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Maybe I will talk about how I learned to get good mentors and what mentorship actually is in my next video. Let me know if that is something that you would like to see. As always, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and have a great rest of your day.